Good afternoon and welcome back to West Ham Irons United. And I hope you like the little update we put at the end of the video there, 1 p.m-ish, because as you know from watching our stuff, Stell is about an hour to 2 hours late every single day. I'm usually on time, but we just need to have that little bit of a, ish in there. And of course, you've just watched My Hammers 11. Russ has been having another one of his daily shows. Fantastic show again, Russ. I don't get to watch them every single day, but when I do, I try and tune in as much as I can, try and have it on in the background. So it's really good. So yeah, it's like you're passing on. Thanks. There's the torch. I'll take the torch for the next 15-20 minutes. But you're back with a West Ham Daily. It's our new show. It's something we're going to be doing as much as we can every single day, Monday to Friday. Like I said, 1 p.m-ish, but it will probably be closer, 1:15 to 1:30 each day. And we're just going to be bringing you some of the updated information related to West Ham on the day, and we're trying to bring you as many facts, etc. We'll engage a bit with the chat as we do. I'll come in and have a look and see who's in there already. People are already taking the mic there. So afternoon, Stell, afternoon, all. Stu, how you doing? Thanks for joining us, mate. We'll get into the show in a minute. Yeah, cheers, mate. Nice to see you. Richard, happy birthday. It's Mr. Cox's birthday today, so please, everyone, wish him happy birthday. So happy birthday, Richard. Hope you're well, mate. Wally World, love it. Thank you very much to Russ for doing that. Thanks for coming in. Kieran, good day, mate. Nice to see you again. Thank you very much. Mark Davis, evening all from the lockdown capital of Australia. Yeah, I've seen some news. You're some of you are in lockdown again, but your lockdowns are very different to the lockdowns that we're currently in the process of having, because we kind of, we go into quite strict lockdowns. It's just you've managed the whole pandemic a lot better, and you kind of lock down for 3 or 4 days, etc. So I don't know. Let me know what actually is happening and who's in lockdown in Australia, etc. And then obviously, oh, hello, Mrs. Cox. It's fantastic to actually see you here. Not that I'm not excited that Richard's in the chat, and I know Jake's at school, but honestly, it's a pleasure to actually engage with you. Myself, anyway, is only 3 days, Mark. Right, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I know someone out there who was talking about the masks were obviously being made mandatory, etc. as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can see light at the end of the tunnel. Michael D, keep up the fine work, guys. Enjoying the daily show. Yeah, and you know what? I kind of emulate what Stell said. We're going to do our best. We're going to really try. It has an impact, obviously, on our day. Work, we've got to work, we've got families, all that sort of stuff, but we want to give you as much content as we possibly can. So I suppose what it really means is it's time for me to get talking and not go off in tangents like we always do at West Ham United, and we're trying our best to remain as professional as we possibly can. Anyway, the first topic or particular topic I want to talk to you today about on our daily is the reports today, and to be honest, it's not just been today, it's actually been for a while, but it's really came to a head today, are suggesting that West Ham and Arsenal are both interested in signing the Brøndby talent Jesper Lindstrom this summer, with the attacking midfielder shining for the Danish club since 2000. It's this season, basically, and as you can see, I've put an image up of him there, but it's another attacking midfielder. You ask me, well, if we're led to believe that Moyes will be left to believe that Moyes will be targeting a striker alongside some other positions, then why are we going to be signing another midfielder when you think we're kind of top heavy in that position? But what we're seeing here is Moyes potentially filling up his midfield with young, vibrant midfielders who can absolutely change games. There's no ifs or buts about it. These sort of players love similar players in and around them, a bit like when we see Lingard and Benrahma, or even the Lingard and Fornals partnerships perform together. But you may, like I said, you may ask, it's another midfielder that we're adding to the squad, but we're kind of, it's more and more likely now that Lanzini will be moving on in the summer. And that does, I'm more of the mindset that it kind of pains me a little bit to know that he might be moving on in the summer, because I do like Lanzini, and I don't know if it's because I hold him close to my heart from being there as one of the vital players in the last season at Upton Park. And I can't seem to let go, but it's going to be a time where we're going to have to let go. And I think possibly that time is going to come this summer. And that's going to obviously free up a space in that position. £70,000 a week in salary. And of course, we all know the central midfield cover is also important, if not pivotal, to what West Ham are going to do to protect Rice and Souček should one of them get injured. But we've got to put the faith into what Moyes is trying to build at West Ham. And like I said, don't know what your thoughts are. Do you want Lanzini to go? Would you be willing to try and give him another shot? And we all know that Moyes does like him. We all know that he favours him a lot as well. But for me, I think the big one is that we probably need to move on from the past and start building for the future. And that's exactly what Moyes is doing. And if we're led to believe that he's going to build this young players with the young age groups, the young system, the Red Bull models in foreign countries, etc., and bring that to West Ham, then we're going to have to let players like Lanzini go who haven't been performing at the top of the level. We'll maybe get a small fee for him, and it looks like that he may go back to somewhere like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and find a club. And it's a hop, skip, and a jump away for him to actually get closer to home in Argentina. But you never know, there could be something happening there. But let's talk about Lindstrom and what he could potentially bring. He's a one-time Denmark international, and he's been sensational, and I mean that, sensational for Brøndby this season. Despite just being 21 years of age, he scored 9 goals and created 9 more assists during just 22 league games, earning a senior Denmark cap. The youngster now has 58 senior appearances for the side, and he came through the academy boasting stats of 14 goals, 13 assists. But of course, the majority of that came in the first team this season, and no wonder Premier League clubs are calling for him. I mean, he really does look like a really, really good talent. And you can see, again, David Moyes building that kind of false nine midfield creativity, game-changing midfielders. Again, I want to reiterate, we do know that he's going to put a priority in bringing strikers in, etc. So it's not just West Ham, though, apparently are keen on the guy. It's Arsenal that are keeping tabs on him. And apparently, I think at one point he was rumoured to be worth 5 million, but we know that value will jump up dramatically, especially when Premier League clubs are sniffing about. It's not just English Premier League clubs. There's the German Bundesliga. Leipzig are interested in signing him, and they've got a good scouting system, obviously over there with the conveyor belt of players that they produce. So they're also interested. He's got enormous potential, and his career is certainly not destined to remain in the Danish football. A move to one of Europe's biggest 5 leagues should come about this summer, especially the fact he's obviously got double digits in both goals and assists. If you look at the Arsenal situation, he could be ideal cover for the Emil Smith-Rowe or Martin Odegaard. And I know Odegaard picked up an injury in international duty, but his chances of regular team football is quite possibly unlikely with the style of play and what Arsenal do, especially with the forwards that they've got in their lineup. But so would that make his first team football a little bit unlikely? I'm not too sure. But if I mentioned earlier on, West Ham may sell, and looks likely that they'll sell Manuel Lanzini, then a move to West Ham would really benefit a player like Lindstrom. Indeed, West Ham are beginning to use lesser European leagues as a pool of players and a kind of scouting system. Thomas Souček, Sufal were signed from Slavia Prague. Frederick Alves was signed from Silkeborg. And West Ham is a better move for me personally for Lindstrom than Arsenal, because it's not about the top-notch play, the player that you've got to go around Europe and say, 45, 50 million pounds. It's about the players that fit into the system. But with 9 games to go, we are just a hop, skip, and a jump away from European football. And we're going to need a strong squad to try and compete if we do make Europe, but also compete in the league, as games will be coming thick and fast. And surely what Moyes has been achieving with his arrivals at the club has to be applauded. Absolutely they do. And we must we have to avoid the panic buying summer like we had under Pellegrini with the likes of Gökhan Tor, Faguli, and Nordveit and company coming in. I mean, get your comments in and let me know your thoughts on these particular players that we're actually talking about. I'm going to jump through some of the comments and see what everyone else is saying about the players. But it kind of, makes it a little bit interesting. We're going to be bringing you the transfer shows, etc. But there's an interesting take on. I mean, would you be happy to see Lanzini go? Would you be happy to see a player like Lindstrom quality come in? Or do you think if Lanzini goes, we don't need to fill that position? And I think I made the point at the end there, like, if we do qualify for Europe, we're going to need strong strength and depth in all positions. And we always think we've got a lot of players there. We've got Fornals, we've got Bowen, we've got Lingard, just to name a few, Ben Rama, and then you're bringing in another player, but you're going to need this squad rotation. We've seen it no more than this season, so it's definitely going to be important. So let's see. Kieran, you're saying Brisbane for 3 days. I really hope everything kind of drops down. I mean, I know you guys go into a lockdown, don't you, when there's like not very many cases kicking about, but that's probably the best way. It kind of eradicates and starts to drop it down. Peach, Anton, Peachy boys in the house. Good to see you, mate. Richard, she only likes you now because of your wife's amazing dolphin thing. Dolphin thing. What a way to present that. Honestly, Richard, remind me not to get you on Mary's marketing campaign. I'm only joking, mate. I'm only joking. Happy birthday to Richard. Vinay is saying, heard of the manager David must see and the player Mark Staffa. No, I seen you trying to wind up still yesterday and the other day, so I'm not going to fall for it, Vinay. And then, do you know what? There is one guy who'll fall for it, is me. Well, the world's saying, hey, Peach. Yep, you're replying to each other. Ian Smith is saying Lanzini is still a good player, but unfortunately, when you lose that half a yard of pace due to a nasty injury, your days of being Premiership players is finished. And Ian, I do agree with you, but I do think you see that spark of genius with Lanzini. I think he's definitely got the capability to do it. I rewind back and talk about the Crystal Palace game, for example. We're down 1-0 to a Benteke goal. We needed ball-carrying players. We brought Lanzini on. He changed the game. He's done it a few times this season. I can name maybe 4 or 5 times he's came on as a sub and made a bit of a difference in the game. But then it seems to be when he starts, he can't see out a game. So I don't know. It could be a case of handshakes. Thanks very much for your service. You've been a good professional for West Ham. See you later, and we've got to look to the future. Infinite, hope you're well. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Kieran James, Yarma and Lanzini are at the end at West Ham. Yeah, I kind of totally agree. I really do. I like Lanzini, but if he wants to leave, let him go. I think there's an element of two of it there. I think he does want to go, but I think that the club also want him to go. But I think it's going to be a respect. There's going to be a mutual agreement there. And he will, of course, free up 70 grand in wages at the club. All good, Infinite. You're all talking to each other, which is really nice to see. Need to free up space for Winston. Well, actually, if you tune back in tomorrow, it looks like we're going to do a kind of defensive daily. There's quite a few updates on that, so make sure you do check into our daily tomorrow. Scott, I'd happily welcome Reid back as part of our coaching staff. He's our best player for years, and you know me. Listen, I don't need to say it. I mean, I completely agree with you. Scott Randall saying Lindstrom would add depth for sure. Lanzini is done at this level, no fault of his own. And people are agreeing with you. Mark Davis, we need to make Europe first to draw these players to us. Yeah, Mark, I get that. And that's probably why I said we're going to have a hop, skip and jump away. We are, with the fate's in our hands. We need to, it's in our hands. It's up for us to do this job and push forward and try and get something over the line. And get a European spot. Listen, I want Champions League. Of course I do. And 5th could be enough this season. It's just down to West Ham to bounce back and get a really good result against Wolves and at the weekend. And fingers crossed we can do that. Mark, absolutely. If we finish 8th, we will not draw many players to our squad. I know, and then it's whether or not you'll keep the likes of maybe Lingard. But then something else is, if we finish 8th, we still have progressed as a club. And because we're tasting this little bit of success, things have pushed our mindsets forward. We're thinking forward in terms of we're so close to the Champions League, so we're starting to think oh God, what would it be like? What could that bring in? Who could that attract? All that sort of stuff. Upton, Parker. If Lindstrom comes in, would Saeed change his name to Bencharama? I really don't think so, mate, especially if a player like Lindstrom's quality young player comes in. We all know what Moyes does. He takes his time to bring these players on, and he's done the same with Benrahma, done the same with Bowen. So we may see something similar if he brings it in, but we're gonna need strength and depth, and we don't have that strength and depth. And he's relied a lot and been very fortunate this season. But like you said, Yarmolenko's lost a bit of pace. Lanzini's lost a bit of pace. So yeah, we need to see what we can do. I have to get ready for work. Have a great day, all. Thanks, Anton. Nice way to start the day. Thanks, Scott, for tuning in, mate. Nice to see looking at players for the future as well as the now. Must stop the panic buys, Stu. That's the part that's the part I completely agree with. We must stop the panic buys, and I think we have as of late. But I can't help but think when I think back to that season when we Astrogugu season when we had Gokantor, Faguli, and Nordvik, just to name a few. And that's exactly what happened. It was like, let's fill up that squad with numbers. I'd happily take, I heard someone say recently, they'd take 7 new signings in the summer. Of course we would, but I'd happily take 4 if they were, or 3 if they were going to make a big difference. And that is a striker, ideally 2 strikers, and a central midfielder. To cover the Rice and Souček position. I wouldn't even go for a central defender. Again, if you tune in tomorrow to the West Ham Daily, I'll explain to you why. Kieran, go to bed, mate. Have a good one. Thanks very much for joining us. Infinite Life, and I couldn't agree more. It's all in our hands, and it really is, mate. It really is, and I hope we don't kind of fall at the final hurdle. I think Moyes is going to do something there. It's been a successful season anyway. So Mark Davis, but we all think Moyes is doing well for us. As you said, it's up to the players to win. 100%. Ian Smith, how much money does Moyes have to spend next season? Real stumbling block is if JSB decide Europe is not important for next season. I think it's all going to depend on what players are going out of the club. I know you see rumours kicking about that saying that Moyes has a specific budget as it stands. That budget will change. That's why I'm not going to report and say he's got access to 40, 50 million pounds, because things can change dramatically in this league. And again, it's really pivotal that you tune in tomorrow, because the defence talk and video we're going to do tomorrow, because there's been kind of a few updates on that, may have an effect on what the budget could bring in, etc. If we sell 4 players, Anton, how many do we actually need if we're in Europe? I mean, for me personally, I think we need to bring in, I think ideally we'd bring in 4 players, but if we sell 4, like bringing in 4 just to replace them isn't going to be enough. However, again, tune in tomorrow, because I think there's players elsewhere, i.e. the academy, that we can absolutely look at. Anyway, listen, short and sweet. That's the way I could go on all day. Still could go on all day. I'm trying my best to keep them short and sweet. So let me know your thoughts. Lanzini out, Lindstrom in. What do you think of that style of player coming in? It's not a priority for West Ham, but should it be a priority? Who should be a priority? Keep your comments coming in. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up. And thank you so much for all the support. We'll be back tomorrow for another West Ham Daily. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Anton, West Ham United. Come on, you Irons.